the Dorkbot 15. I gotta put on something dorky if I'm gonna do this. So I'm gonna put on my goggles. All right, I'm ready. All right, I've got a PowerPoint presentation for this. Oh, let me turn something off. Something is still on. Thank you. Here we have, let me turn this thing off. Can't really see it there. I shouldn't have used blue. That was my fault. This is up there. It says Chase's DIY industrial quality UPS system, uninterruptible power supply. Translated, it's a battery backup for your 120 volt stuff. On the left there you have a battery backup like you would get like commercially. On the right there is a military grade battery backup facility. And power what with this thing? Most people know what an uninterruptible power supply is, I think. Most people have them for their computers, at least, to keep them going during a brownout when the power drops or when the power grid has complete failure, so you can keep your computer on or your alarm clock, whatever the case may be. Computers, televisions, blenders, you can read. All that stuff can be powered with this type of system, but most people know them to power computer systems. These types of systems are also used in solar applications where you would use solar panels to charge batteries in order to run other 12 volt or 120 volt inverted systems. And the benefits of uninterruptible power supply battery backup systems are you get surge protection naturally by the power inversion process. Keeps your computer systems from being shut down. Many people have had the computers completely die off from a brownout or something like that when the power failed. So that's a good reason to own one if you value your computer systems. As laptops have them naturally built in, which is kind of nice, except for the surge protection, really. A lot of people have store-bought UPS battery backups. The advantages are, of course, the units that you were going to buy at the store are inexpensive and effective for doing what you're going to do with them. Like if you have a quick brownout that's only a few seconds, it will be able to power your computer system and any other computer equipment you have for at least a few seconds, if not a few minutes. Most of them really aren't good for much more than that, though. I don't know if anybody's ever tested one where it'd be running and you could literally unplug the power from the wall socket, and your computer would continue to run, and you'd hear the nice little beeping. In the store-bought one. The disadvantages to the small backups, though, are that the construction is kind of sucky. The batteries in them are very small, and they don't last very long once you unplug the computer or whatever system you have from the power grid. And usually once they die, you have to most people will just buy a whole new one. They won't try to replace the battery or anything. So that's kind of the disadvantage. The cheaper ones are, I guess, $40. You know, more expensive ones can get upwards of hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Everybody's probably wondering, why do you want to build this yourself? Well, you can add more batteries to it. In this case, rather than having the batteries last just 4 minutes, you can have them last for hours or even days by having multitudes of batteries hooked up to this type of system, which military does this, hospitals do this, and most people wouldn't try to necessarily build this for themselves. But it's also, like for the individual, just much cheaper to build if you are willing to try to build your own. And it's fairly simple. You don't really need to know a tremendous amount about electronics or anything to really build this. You just have to kind of know what to buy and do some simple wiring, and you can put it together. The basic configuration for an uninterruptible power supply is a 12-volt battery charger, which is the power, also known as the power supply. In this case, it's turning. It's a converter, because it's converting 120-volt wall socket power into 12-volt power in order to charge your 12-volt batteries. In this case, we're using sealed lead-acid batteries. You can use car batteries, but car batteries emit deadly fumes that you don't really want to be storing car batteries in your house. For this reason, that's why you should use sealed lead-acid batteries. And then the next component in the system is going to be your power inverter, which changes the 12-volt power from the 12-volt battery back into 120 volts. So then you can, once you kill the power from the grid, you can run the whatever 120-volt device you'd like to off the battery. A lot of people have seen these for sale. It's usually a box that hooks up like a positive and a negative 12-volt connection that you can plug into your car. Some of them plug into a cigarette lighter in the car, and then it's got literally a 120-volt socket on it. We can plug stuff into it. Some cars are equipped with these already, like integrated. And then you need your fuse holders and your fuses and your wiring. That's about it. That's all of the components in a very basic system. You could make it more complicated than that, but I'm just covering the very basic system for this presentation. The DIY battery backup is modular, meaning you can add on to it and make it fit your requirements, or even build multitudes of them for various applications. Addition of multi-battery isolator, which is just essentially a giant diode which allows you to charge one battery while draining another. Without draining the one you're charging. You can add multiple batteries to your system, like I was saying. If you want to go real crazy, you can even have a whole room in your house full of batteries where you can run your entire house for days on end, assuming you can have enough power. You can even, like I said, charge the batteries using solar if you wish. And then, of course, multiple power inverters for additional 120-volt power requirements. And this is an example of a DIY battery backup system here. The three main components: you've got your battery, sealed lead-acid battery, power inverter, and your 12-volt converter for your power supply to charge the system. Because the idea is that you have the system charging while you're just kind of using your systems as you normally would every day off of the grid power that you pay Austin Energy for. And then once the lightning strikes and kills the entire power grid, then that would continue to run your computer all by itself. 12-volt batteries to choose from. As I said before, you want sealed lead-acid batteries. Batteries are heavy. That's pretty much that, and that just goes into detail about the battery. That's an example of a sealed lead-acid battery. It's too exciting, isn't it? Charger types. There's various charger types you can use to charge your batteries, because you want to have them charged, of course, so when the power grid fails that you'll be able to maintain your 120-volt power system. off of the battery.